Hi, hello. My name is Kimara Herbert, and this is my teaching demo. In order to set everyone up for success, I tried my best to create an authentic classroom experience with a chalkboard, and as well as a book. I'm going to be teaching from a book today called Trombone Shorty, and I wanted to be able to include you in that. So my teaching demo will have some things to make you feel as though you're in the classroom. On my first slide here that you're able to see, I have also laid out the objectives of what I feel students would be learning in this type of lesson. And just to go through them quickly, just knowledge of the book where we'll go over different themes, main character, setting, central theme, and pursuing dreams and passion, music appreciation, creativity and self expression, perseverance and determination, and making connections, as well as cultural awareness. So, those are just some of the things that can be taught within this lesson. Also, I just wanted to note that I have cut this book tremendously just so we can do a short demo and you can get an idea of what a class period looks like for me. Okay? All right. Hi, good morning, class, and welcome. Today, we're going to be reading a book, and this book is actually an autobiography. An autobiography. And this autobiography, this book, the story that we're going to be reading today is called Trombone Shorty by Trombone Shorty Andrews. Now, that word, autobiography, does anybody know what an autobiography is? That's okay. That's okay. I can help you with that. So, an autobiography is a story written by a person about the person. So, it is written by the author about the author. And so, in this story called Trombone Shorty, written by Trombone Shorty Andrews, we are clearly going to be learning about him and about who he is and who he was, okay? Who he is. So before we begin reading this book today, I want you guys to open your book and let's turn to the next page. And I want us to go over some vocabulary words before we begin to read. And so the first phrase actually that I want us to learn today is where ya at? Where ya at? Where ya at? Can you guys say that? Where ya at? Where you at? Good job, guys. And let's go ahead and underline that word or put a star by it in your book. Okay? So, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? It is a phrase that people in America, specifically African Americans, say, and it means, where are you? Where are you? Or it can mean, hello, how are you? So let's write those things down. Okay, let's write that definition down in our book too. Let's underline where you're at and let's write where are you? The next thing I want us to underline is the word nickname. Nickname. Does anybody have an idea what a nickname is? Okay, a nickname is a name that is not your real name. I'm going to write this on the board for you too. Nickname. Not your real name. And it could be funny or it could be something your family calls you. So, for example, teacher Kimara's name is Kimara, but my family calls me Mara. Mara is my nickname. Or Piggy. My family calls me Piggy. So those are nicknames, names that are not your real names, but your friends or your family they can call you. So let's go ahead and make sure you underline where you at. Everybody say where you at, where you at. Good job. And nicknames. Make sure you write those definitions down. Copy what's on the board, okay? The next word I want us to underline is inspiration. Inspiration. Okay. Inspiration is something or someone that makes you want to do or be something creative or big or super or cool, right? An inspiration. And so A perfect example of an inspiration for me would be President Tsai Ing-wen, right? Taiwan's first woman, first female president, right? She inspires women all over the world that they can be leaders or they can be presidents too. So she is an inspiration to many people. Yeah. My my dad is also an inspiration because he really loves and takes care of his family. So those are two people who inspire me. So let's make sure we underline that word too. The next word we're going to go over is neighborhood. Okay? Anybody know what a neighborhood is? Good job. A neighborhood is a community. Yeah, it's a community. And this book is based in America. And so the idea of a neighborhood, it is the same as here. In Taiwan, a neighborhood in America, though, consists of sometimes 50 to 100 homes, and they're all lined in a row. Yeah, that's a neighborhood. We're also going to underline the word New Orleans. Does anybody know what New Orleans is? Great job. New Orleans is a city. It's a very popular, very big city in America. And they are known for great food, great music, and when you go to New Orleans, you always have a very, very fun time. Let's turn to the next page, and I want us to underline the word Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras. So I'm going to tell you what this one is, because I don't think anybody here knows. Mardi Gras is a big celebration, big party of full of music, good food, laughter, and dancing. And it happens in New Orleans every year. Okay? And now that we know what a neighborhood is, guys, on the next page, on page 87, I want us to write neighbors. So in your neighborhood, you have neighbors, and you can just simply write people who live in your neighborhood. Okay? So now that we have all these vocabulary words that we've gone over, I want you to go back to the cover of your story. Let's go to the front of the book. Okay. Trombone Shorty. Everybody say Trombone Shorty. Good job. So, what can we learn from looking at the cover of this book? What do we see? What do we see? Yes, we see a young boy playing some type of instrument. He's playing music. Good. We can just come up with the idea that this is probably a trombone, yeah, which is a musical instrument. And we also see the house in the background, right? Could that be his neighborhood? Right. Very good, guys. Excuse me. And so before we begin reading this book, I want us to think of some things, okay? So we know again that this is an autobiography. This is a story by the author, about the author. And so what I want us to ask ourselves as we are reading today's story is, what does the author want us to know about his life? What does the author want us to know about his life? And I want us to also think, why is Trombone Shorty writing this book? Okay? Those are two very important questions we're going to ask ourselves today. What does he want us to know? And why? Okay? All right, so let's begin reading. I will read for us. Actually, before we begin, because we know this is going to be a story about music, we're going to create some music. So every time we come across the word music, I want us to make drum noises. Yes, I know you would think we would do trombone, but that might be a little too loud and for us today. So we're going to do drums quickly. So every time I come across the word music, I want you to play the drums really quickly on the table, okay? So we have to pay attention and we need to focus on that, all right, to make sure that we are a band today. Okay, guys, so I will read. Please follow along in your books. Trombone Shorty by Troy Trombone Shorty Andrews. Where you at? Where you at? We have our own way of living down here in New Orleans and our own way of talking too. And that's what we like to say when we want to tell a friend, hello. So, Where you at? Lots of kids have nicknames, but I want to tell you the story of how I got mine. Just like when you listen to your favorite song, let's start at the beginning because this is a story of music. Good job. But before you can understand how much music, good job. Before you can understand how much music means to me, you have to know how important it is to my hometown and my greatest inspiration. I grew up in a neighborhood in New Orleans called Treme. Any time of day or night, you could hear music floating in the air. And there was music in my house. Well, music. I almost missed that one. Good job, guys. And there was music in my house too. My big brother James played the trumpet so loud you could hear him halfway across town. He was the leader of his own band, and my friends and I would pretend to be in the band too. Follow me, James would say. There's one time every year that's more exciting than any other: Mardi Gras. Because Mardi Gras parades fill the streets and beads and necklaces are thrown through the air to the crowd. I love the brass bands with their own trumpets, trombones, saxophones, and the biggest brass instruments of them all, the tuba, which rested over the musician's head like an elephant's trunk. Where you at? Where you at? The musicians would call out. All day long, I could see the brass band parades by my house while my neighbors danced along. I loved these parades during Mardi Gras because they made everyone forget about their troubles for a little while. People didn't People didn't have a lot of money in Treme, but we always had a lot of music. Good job, guys. Good job. Thank you for following along. You guys were a great band. um, all right. Let's go back let's go back to the cover of today's story. Let's go back to the front page. Trombone Shorty. What did you think about today's story? Yeah, could you relate to it? He's very young, like you guys. He's probably 8 or 9. Yes, and he loves music. Yes, he does. And right, he loves parades. Do you love parades? Yes. Right. So you guys are very similar. You're very alike, okay? Now remember at the beginning I asked you guys to ask yourselves 2 questions, to think of some things. What does he want us to know? And why is he writing the story? Does anybody have an idea? Maybe what does he want us to know? Yeah. Great. So he's inviting us to be his friends. That's one thing. And he wants us to know what inspired him to become a musician. Great job. And why do you think he's writing this book? Yes, I think it's possible he's writing this book to inspire young kids like yourself to dream big, like how he's dreaming big, right? Great job, guys. And so that's me just cutting the story in half. I would definitely sum the book up, ask the kids lots of questions about the book. What do they think about it? There's also author questions within the book that you can ask students as well. And when we've gotten through all of that assignment, what I would do is create my own assignment. Okay? So, class, now that we've read an autobiography about Trombone Shorty, what I want us to do is write our own autobiography. I want us to write our own story, okay? And what I want you to include is the title. So the title of this book we read was called Trombone Shorty. I want you to create your own title for your book about yourself. Autobiography is a story by the author, about the author, and I want you guys to write your own story. Tell me about yourself. Where do you live? What is your age? What is your name? What is your nickname? So, for example, my name is Kimara. I live in America. I am 34 years old, and my nickname is Piggy, right? And what do you want to be? When I grow up, I want to be an astronaut, okay? And what inspires you? Every day I'm inspired by all the people around me who show love and kindness to others. And so that's what my autobiography would be like. In your autobiography, I want it to be simple. We can do 4 pages, your title, and then tell me, like I said, a little bit about yourself. Make sure it's full of pictures. Answer the questions that I've provided. And when you're all done, we'll go ahead and turn those in. Okay? So, just to wrap up my demo lesson here, that's an assignment that I would provide for the kids. Thank you.